I'm Scott Simi, Chief Content Editor with Indro Robotics, and on today's edition of our Soundbite micro podcast, I'm pleased to be joined by our head of R&D sales, Luke Corbeth. Welcome, Luke.
Thanks for having me again, Scott.
So we're going to be talking today about Prowler, which is a new Indro robot built for security and inspection purposes. We believe it sets kind of a new standard in terms of capabilities and dollar value, and we're pretty proud of it. Luke, maybe just start with a brief overview of what Prowler is before we get into the deeper details.
Yeah, of course. So, at its core, Prowler is a security and inspection robot. So, it's based off a wheeled legged platform. It has extremely dynamic terrain traversal capabilities, and it's outfitted to be both teleoperated and autonomous to capture photo, video, conduct two-way audio, and perform a variety of functions across a variety of verticals.
You just touched indirectly on sensors, but I believe Prowler is enabled for perception, awareness, high-speed connectivity, even two-way audio. Perhaps you could walk us through those capabilities?
Yeah, so the Prowler solution leverages our latest and greatest in terms of our brain boxes. And so that's Indro Cortex. And through Indro Cortex, we add compute, connectivity, and then power distribution to enable integrations like cameras and two-way audio. So this specific configuration for security and inspection comes with a 360 camera by default. We can upgrade this to a thermal PTZ camera. We always leverage two-way audio to talk to either staff on site or wrongdoers who are entering the premise. And we can really open the door to other sensors too, depending on the use case, things like gas sensors or ultrasonic sensors.
And because it has Indro Cortex on board, does that enable a client to potentially be able to integrate their own sensors at their end?
Absolutely. Like this has incredible functionality out of the box, but don't want the road to stop there. So we still provide the development tools that our clients are accustomed to receiving from us. But the amount of functionality of the box is really what makes this an intriguing solution.
Now, I'm familiar with the platform, and it's capable of moving quickly on even terrain, but also tackling obstacles, climbing stairs, and clambering over just about anything. Why is that important?
Yeah, so if you consider a security application or really any mission critical application, you need to get from A to B as quickly and as reliably as possible. And the wheeled legged form factor really has emerged as the dominant way to do that in the market today. It provides kind of unparalleled speed, unparalleled climbing ability, unparalleled, dynamic terrain traversal, and it just gives you the confidence, either as an operator or when moving autonomously, that you're going to get to where you need to go. And in a lot of security applications, like I mentioned, you don't really know where that's going to take you, and you have the confidence that you'll be able to get there with a system like this.
Now, using Indro Controller, that's our proprietary software interface, Prowler can be remotely teleoperated or programmed to run autonomous missions. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Indra Controller really is the main UI and user interface for this robot. So operators can see exactly what the robot is seeing in real time. We can connect over either Wi-Fi, 4G, or 5G to do this. And it also gives them the capacity to control the system in real time with extremely low latency. That's something we've really prioritized with this solution. And then on top of that, once critical routes are established and a workflow is established, we can actually automate a lot of those routes. So it doesn't require someone to manually drive them. Instead, maybe oversee them in the early days. And as AI continues to grow and emerge, eventually we'll be able to add machine vision models, person detection, animal detection, various other features that turn what the robot is seeing into actionable intelligence, but maybe even actions as well. So sending text messages to security teams, maybe notifying local authorities, things of that nature.
What are the primary use cases and what sectors do you see this Prowler appealing to?
Yeah, primarily security. And, there's such a wide range of industries that benefit from autonomous or teleoperated security monitoring. The ones that have gained, the most traction recently have been venues and stadiums. But this is also, very helpful for a lot of our clients in the critical infrastructure verticals, utilities, mining, oil and gas, nuclear, manufacturing, even. Anyone who prioritizes the safety of their site, they want to prevent theft. Um, this is the type of solution that they want on their property.
And this wheeled quadruped design, that locomotion means indoor as well as outdoor use, correct?
Absolutely. So previously, before this type of system was readily available, um, you really had to look towards some of the larger, more robust quadruped systems, and we're talking $200,000, and that really defeated the business case in a lot of cases. So the ability with this platform to go upstairs, go outdoors, climb rocks, climb stairs, climb over train tracks, go off-roading. Like that versatility in a form factor that's less than $50,000 has made this such an appealing solution. And, that's the reason the timing of all of this makes a ton of sense.
What can you tell us about charging? Because I understand we've made some modifications in that area as well.
Yeah, as it relates to charging, in a lot of cases, these systems act without a human in the loop or without a human on site. So no one's there to physically plug them in. So we leverage wireless charging, and that kind of acts as the robot's home base. So it can be deployed at a moment's notice for any mission.
Is there anything you can tell us at this stage about deployments or interest level or anything about what you've been hearing about what people think of the design?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting when it comes to deployments because you don't know what you don't know. Everyone who procures it has a targeted application in mind, but it's really interesting to see how other ulterior applications have emerged. So in a venue type setting, think museum, for example, they're also using the system to talk to visitors and just engage them in a new and creative way. I have a couple universities who are thinking of adding tablets to the back, and that tablet may contain critical information about events that are happening that day, or how to navigate from one building to another, or who the best person is to contact for move-in day. So there's so many ulterior use cases that emerge once you get the robot in the space, and that's something that we didn't necessarily foresee with some of our initial deployments, but is really exciting to know happens once they're out there.
And I heard you throw out a figure a moment ago. You said somewhere around $50,000. Is that what we're talking about when it comes to cost?
Yeah, and that's a Canadian dollars actually. The idea with this solution is, hey, what is the most minimum viable way to perform this task in a teleoperated and autonomous manner? And to us, this is it. It offers that dynamic navigation. We provide the software in that price for teleoperation, the wireless charging, the basic payloads. So it's a lot of value in a great little package.
Anything else you'd like to add, Luke, including how people can get in touch with you?
Yeah, as mentioned, this is kind of our entry level model, and we found in call it 80% of use cases, it's perfectly great. But for those applications that demand, a larger system, longer runtime, stronger IP rating for protection against the elements, we can upgrade the base platform to something a little more powerful, and that really opens the door for us to tackle kind of everything under the sun as it relates to security and inspection with these systems. As it relates to getting in touch with me, I imagine the best way is either email or LinkedIn. And if this is the sort of thing your business is entertaining, we have a lot of insights to share around how you should consider a technology implementation like this.
Luke Corbeth, Indro's head of R&D sales. Great to speak with you again.
The pleasure was mine.